Shavua Tov, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, where we take a look at your top stories making headlines in Israel every Monday to Thursday. And if you want your news in digestible chunks, look no further than the Israel Brief, and stay tuned because I'll give you the details where to find us a little later. But first, let's take a look at those top stories, and we begin with news that 4 Palestinians have been killed and 7 IDF soldiers injured during counter-terror operations in Jenin earlier today. Heavy clashes occurred earlier today as Israeli counter-terror forces embarked on an operation in the terror stronghold of Jenin. Now, the Palestinian media are reporting that at least 62 people are injured, but for the first time in 20 years, an IAF Apache helicopter or Apache gunship was used in this kind of operation. A IED or bomb was placed under an IDF Panther vehicle, causing extensive explosions, and during the evacuation process to get injured soldiers out of the combat area, the gunship fired at Palestinian gunmen. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas just a short while ago said this is a massacre intended to detonate the entire area. Now, the IDF has been engaged in counter-terror operations for a lengthy time, embarking on Operation Breaking the Wave. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, speaking at a defense Expo in Paris earlier today, said that he wishes the injured soldiers a speedy recovery, and he commends the professionalism of the ISA, those are our security forces, the IDF and border police, and says it doesn't matter whether it's Gaza or Jenin or wherever it occurs, the Israeli Defense Forces will fight terror. Excuse me. Now, Ryanair, which is an Irish airline, their CEO, Eddie Wilson, has issued a letter of apology to Simon Wiesenthal's Rabbi Abraham Cooper. What is this all about, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Last week, on a Tel Aviv-bound flight from Bologna in Italy, Ryanair, who's one of Israel's biggest airline partner carriers, a flight attendant announced both in English and in Italian that the flight was landing in Tel Aviv, Palestine. Now, of course, this both offended and insulted the Israelis on board, some of whom tried to take the picture of the flight attendant. They were blocked, and the letter says that Israeli passengers got aggressive and abusive. However, we haven't heard from the passengers saying that anybody got aggressive and abusive. They just said that they were threatened with arrest upon landing. Anyway, in the letter to the Simon Wiesenthal Center's Rabbi Cooper, the CEO says it was an innocent mistake, and the flight attendant concerned has been reprimanded. Meanwhile, student activist groups both in Ireland and in Israel have released a petition calling on Ryanair to fire the attendant. In their letter to Ryanair, the Simon Wiesenthal Center said everybody's entitled to an opinion, but not alternative facts. Ukraine's First Lady Olena Zelenska is in Israel. The First Lady will be hosted by our First Lady, Michal Herzog, and she is here on a humanitarian visit. Earlier today, First Lady Zelenska met with President Herzog and Michal, and while she is here for the next couple of days, she will visit Ukrainian soldiers who are being treated in Israeli hospitals. She will also meet with organizations that look after children impacted by trauma, and she will meet with various Ukrainian nationals. And finally, in an unprecedented deal of $35 billion, actually, let me correct that, that's $25 billion, still massive, Intel have announced that they will be opening a manufacturing factory in Kiryat Gat in the south of Israel. This is an absolutely unprecedented investment in Israel, $25 billion. Wowza. And rumor has it that wages for those who are working in the factory will be higher than normal. And that brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. It's extremely humid here in Israel, which could account for some of the confusion at times. But anyway, if you want to find where you can get our original content, look no further than our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. We really want to grow our community. Our Facebook community is at Lottel Site. You guys know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, the whole number. And of course, we're on Twitter at layoftheland5. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, and I'll catch you again tomorrow with your top stories.